All right, well, good morning, good morning, good morning. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Wealthy, Healthy, Happy Show. This is
Right.
ERGJ, your success coach, and we got Mr. Beedles.
This is Mr. Beedles, Mr. Wealthy, Healthy, Happy, your financial planner and small business developer. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening?
We are here back again like we are every day, Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. And we are here today with day number 11 of our Mindset Makeover Challenge. Now, of course, we are coming off a long, beautiful weekend, Thanksgiving weekend. So we're rolling back into our Monday. For some of us, getting back on track, getting back into the swing of things. Some of us had a
Right,
long weekend, but we're still
right.
here. We were here on Thanksgiving. We're here the day after Thanksgiving, and we're here this Monday. And so I hope everyone had a wonderful weekend as we get back. For some of us, getting back into the groove of things, but also for a few of us, we're just continuing to roll along, doing as we do. So this is our show where we're here to hold each other accountable, to motivate one another, to inspire one another to greatness. At the end of the day, each and every one of us has greatness within us. So hopefully we can surround ourselves with like-minded people that'll help pull that greatness outside of us, that'll help extract that gold mine that we have on the inside of us. So, Mr. Beatles, man, how was your weekend?
Weekend was fantastic, man. It was fantastic. I was actually I was working over at Gladys Knight's Chicken and Waffles this past weekend. I had an opportunity to pick up a few hours. I got some ideas that I'm entertaining, so it was good for me to just kind of see what was going on there, and and it was a reminder for me why I'm currently doing what I'm doing right now, and then also, I think last week we talked a little bit about opportunities and taking advantage of opportunities that come your way, and again I was able to do just that. So it felt good to do something that was completely outside of the box, and learn a whole lot in the process.
Good, good. Thanks so much for joining, Brandy. Thanks so much for joining as well. Love cool things. I'll let you in the seat in just a second, Brandy. We're getting
Brandy!
getting our show going on. So the Mindset Makeover Challenge, guys. In case you guys don't know, day number 11, we've been reading The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. In case you don't have a hard copy, you can find this on YouTube. You can also go to our website, www.wealthyhealthyhappy.net, and there'll be a link there for you to listen to. It's a 30-minute audio, which is going to hopefully help to kind of shape your thinking as it relates to your success, as it relates to going towards or progressing towards your worthy ideal. So in order to do that, you first got to decide and determine what it is that you want. That's the very first step. What is it that you really want? What is that thing that you're going to go after? What is your purpose? What is your big audacious goal? What is that thing for you? Then once you figure that out, over the next 30 days, we want you to do your best to be positively focused towards your goal. Now, we know that can be one of the most difficult things to do because it's very difficult to be positive in a negative world. And so that's one of the reasons why we have this show, to help us get started on the right track each and every day, to get started with the right mindset, to get around like-minded people that can help fuel us, at least get our day started right as we go out into the world to face the world. Everything that we'll find or we'll face today, hopefully we'll be reminded of how we started. Mr. Beatles.
Absolutely. The launch is the most important part of a rocket ship getting to the moon. It's the launch, right? And so every morning that we wake up, this becomes your launch. It becomes the fuel for your fire, and a lot of times it's how you start off is how you'll finish. If you take a sprinter, for example, he's a 100-meter or 200-meter sprinter, and he gets out of the blocks wrong for the day, he trips or he stumbles out of the blocks. A lot of times he does not have a good race. Sometimes, you might see him recover if he's a Usain Bolt, and he's just an amazing, amazing athlete. And, he kind of has that advantage. But the reality is that when you don't start off right out of the blocks, it's very difficult for you to finish the way that you desire to finish. So every morning that we get up and we get on this call, it becomes that opportunity for us to get out of the blocks, right? And then we are up early enough that you may be able to make some corrections if there were some steps that you missed before it's time for you to go to work or to get your day started. So I'm excited that we're here today talking about motivation being the fuel to your fire.
Yeah, you need motivation. Motivation is like a shower. You need it every day. And so we are here today. We're glad that you are here with us. We're being consistent in our efforts and hope that you're being consistent in your efforts as well as you go towards your worthy ideal. So, Mr. Beedles, I know that there were some things you wanted to share with the people today as it relates to some things on the website. You wrote a little blog and you had a few steps to help us to continue to press forward towards our goals.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, in us talking today about motivation. What I started doing is adding content to the wealthyhealthyhappy.net, and one of the reasons why we become demotivated is simply because there are obstacles and challenges that come up in our lives, and we don't anticipate the obstacle and the challenge. And so we forget the reason why we're doing our stuff in the first place. So what I started taking a look at is having a big enough why, and then having drivers that push us and compel us towards our whys. And so if you go to wealthyhealthyhappy.net and click on the blog page, what you'll see is the 9 daily disciplines. So the idea behind the 9 daily disciplines, all right, so you take this activity and you complete this activity every day. Now the goal is to get 9 points every single day. And these daily disciplines help you to stay focused on your why. So what you want to do is you want to cultivate your why. You cultivate your why every day by beginning these 9 daily disciplines. So you have gratitude as your number one goal. Gratitude as your number one motivator. All right, so take the first few moments of every day and give thanks for all that you have to appreciate. You know what I mean? Appreciate the details of life. Appreciate the roof over your head, or a warm cup of coffee in the morning. The second thing that you want to do is you want to think about material prosperity. We're spiritual beings having an earthly experience, right? And so we're living in this physical form. And so in order for you to live your highest and best self, opulence and plenty is one of those things that you have to have in order for you to be a cheerful giver, right? The third thing is sound physical health. Get out and do something with your body every single day. Our body is our temple. And the more effective you are at operating physically, the more your mind, your spirit, and your soul is in tune and is in sync. And so having a physical regimen that you're committed to every day is number 3. To thine self be true is number 4. And to thine self be true. The degree to which you love yourself determines the relationship you possess with the outer world. And your environment is a reflection of how you feel on the inside. So always be bold, be honest, and be you. That's every single day. Be fearless is number 5. Hope and faith is number 6. Love is the key is number 7. Remember the romance is number 8. So remember your definite major purpose and know that it is a labor of love. This definite major purpose is your labor of love. And it's not always going to be easy, right? It's like having a relationship. You know, you're going to have the good days and the bad days, but remembering why you fell in love in the first place and learn to fall in love every day is the driving goal for you. And then the last thing is wisdom is better than gold. So every lesson that you learn, every obstacle that you overcome is a wisdom nugget in your satchel, and it will be needed for the obstacles that are to come, right? And so how we choose to deal with our circumstances determines the level of wisdom that we have.
A whole lot there, man.
So,
I think that we can go into a lot of those in the detail. We talked about gratitude on Thursday, so I guess we can go to number 2 today and talk about that. I think it's material prosperity. And Brandon, I know that you were trying to jump into a seat. If you want to jump into a seat now, that's fine. Hey, Ryan, how you doing?
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good. Thanks for joining.
Good morning.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So, Mr. Beedles, you want to lead us in the conversation real quick about material prosperity? What and that's not number 2 on the 9 day disciplines. You got these daily disciplines from Napoleon Hill, correct?
Number two. All right. So yeah. So material prosperity. Let me see. It's from the Master Keys of Riches, and he talks about material prosperity. J.D. Waddles also talks about material prosperity as well in the living and designing the life that that's desirable. And it's material prosperity. That's kind of one of those things. If you think about it on a basic level, you're probably a different person living in a house with a roof on top of it as opposed to a cardboard box with no running water. Right? It's very difficult for you to be the best person that you can possibly be if you don't have a level of comfort in your life. And so you can define what that level of comfort is, but I think it's important for us to understand that it's very challenging to live this world, to live this life without some material prosperities, without some material wealth. And so where it may have been taboo back in the day to kind of be humble and not necessarily desire the material wealth. I mean, prosperity is just kind of one of those things that we should have in life. It's very difficult for you to be a giver if you have nothing to give. And so we have to desire more so
Absolutely.
that we can
Fantastic.
then distribute
So Brandy, thanks so much for
amongst our
joining.
community.
This is your first time with us here today? Oh,
Yeah,
whoa.
this is actually it's actually my first time ever blabbing.
Okay.
Somebody told me about this app, so I just jumped on tonight, and then I was scrolling through. This is like the first time, so sorry about just trying to jump in. I just kept pressing that button when it came through, but I'm loving the content.
Wow.
I'm loving what you guys are sharing. I love this subject about prosperity. I feel like there's a lot of people out there that like ourselves who find ourselves in the world of personal development, empowering others, and sometimes we get a little bit, it can get a little maybe confusing. We come from our hearts and we give from our souls. We want to help others, and then sometimes when we start talking about money or prosperity, maybe it makes some people feel uncomfortable. But I don't think we should ever apologize, for desiring prosperity, because like Mr. Beedles brought out, and Mr. Evan Jefferson, you guys both said that if we're gonna be able to give our gifts to others, we can't give our gifts to others if we're totally just locked down by time constraints because of the hours that we have to spend working for a boss, and for any other pressures that are on our mind because of financial issues.
Ms. Brandy, where you from?
I'm actually
Right.
2:00 in the morning, my time right now.
Okay, fantastic.
Where are you guys from? Where are you guys from?
Atlanta.
Oh, wow. That's
We're in
awesome.
Georgia.
I fly through Atlanta.
Atlanta.
There's a Delta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said that there was. Oh, you said there's a Delta. Yeah, the biggest Delta hub is right here in Atlanta.
The airport.
Yeah.
They said
I'm
Hawaii.
in Hawaii.
And where'd you say you were from again?
Yeah. I'm in Hawaii right now.
Hawaii. Oh, wow.
So how long have you guys been blabbing?
Very cool. Let's see.
Yeah, I've been on Blab for about
This is
probably
day
about
11
2
for
months,
me.
almost 3 months. So we meet this show. We meet every morning at 7 a.m. Eastern time. So I guess that's 2:00 your time. Not quite sure where that is. And yeah, it's 5 hours before us. So yeah, so 5 hours less. So we meet every morning. Here to kind of get this day started, get everything going, get our days going right, and hopefully get us in the right spirit as we try to attack the day. So we're on the 11th day of the Mindset Makeover. Oh, fantastic!
Check out your website. It's a super nice website. I just had it here. I'm a real fan of Earl Nightingale's too. I'm Bob Proctor's my coach, so I learned a lot about Earl Nightingale. Yeah.
Bob Proctor, shout out to Bob Proctor.
I think I just lost it. Like, WWH was the tab or something, yeah? WHH.
Yeah, it's WHH2
Lost it, but
is the tab at the top.
Website. Is there a way for me to flip my camera at all when we're blabbing, or no?
No.
Gotcha. And I wonder if
Uh,
it's the landscape.
it might be.
Did I just
It
go
might be.
crooked on you guys?
Yeah, you're sideways.
Okay. Well, thanks for that.
I'm quiet this morning. I'm headed to physical
Right,
therapy,
Roy, what's
but I
going
wanted
on?
to hop on and see what you guys are
That's-
talking about.
Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on the on the material prosperity, Mr.
I
Ryan?
see.
Let's take action.
Well, I love the gratitude, and then what was number 2 again? Just off the top, I
Material.
am driving.
Number two is material prosperity. Life should be enjoyed, and we are spiritual beings having a physical experience, and opulence is something that we have to attract into our lives
On a material
to make
thing
ourselves a little bit
going
better.
forward. For most people, I find that a lot of people want to help a lot of people, as Brandy was talking about, but we can't help each other if we don't help ourselves first. So, often I'll get clients that want to help
That's right.
a lot of people and do a lot of things, and I often say, just help yourself first. Let's take care of you. Let's get your house in order, and once your house is in order, then because you have abundance, then you can give. But you can't give if you don't have. And too many times people get one step ahead, and then they're like, oh, I want to with everybody. No, wait till you get 100 steps ahead, and then you could go share with 100 people behind you. And so, yeah, it's not about material things, I think. Brandy had touched on it. It's more about time freedoms. The more, money doesn't buy. The one thing money buys more than anything else is time, and it's the only asset that we have that we can't replace. So the more money you have, the more time you have to do things. That's what I was taking away from it this morning.
Yeah.
I like
Hey
it.
man,
I
that
like
is so
it.
true. I believe that
Evan,
I believe that's the real fight. The real fight for many of us is our time, right? And how we're going to best use our time. And so, as he said, that the real fight when we're going to work, we're doing the things that we're doing. Obviously, it's hopefully it's part of our definite major purpose. But one of the things it is to free us up in order to be able to do more. And so, when you have that freedom from that financial freedom, then that actually gives you the freedom from a time standpoint to be able to give, to be able to go and volunteer, to be able to do the events. I remember, one of my things when I was at my corporate job was like, hey, I couldn't just take off to go and do some things, like go teach at a public school or to go to a career day or anything like that, right? Where I wanted to give back to the community because they didn't allow me because my time was captured with, hey, I got to go chase this dollar in order to pay my rent, in order to do these things. So the freedom of time came when I was actually able to free up my finances. And so I think that is very key when you have that abundance in your life, that material abundance, then that allows you, in some cases or in most cases, to be able to go and do more of the things that you like to do and be able to serve more people as well, because you now have your time back, where you actually bought your time back from whether it is you've been in debt your whole life and you now have to work 2 and 3 jobs because you got to pay back from the times that you spent. Time is the most precious commodity that we have, and it all comes down to what we're going to do with our time or what we're going to do with our money.
Absolutely. What you got, Brandy?
I agree with Mr. Jefferson. I agree about time and that whole thing with the corporate job. And I mean, you know what? I'm an entrepreneur, but I'll never put down anybody who has a job. I know a lot of times we hear people be like, "You got a job, you just over broke, blah blah blah." And you know what? There's a lot of respect in having a job, and I know a lot of entrepreneurs who claim to be full-time entrepreneurs who are not making money. So, I think it's important that we work enough to keep us kind of like not to get caught up in the 9 to 5 or the 40-year career, but I think we just work enough so that we can sustain ourselves. But we got to make sure that we don't get caught up in staying in that in that mentality forever. We've got to teach people not to stay in that mentality forever. So almost like to keep working because they need money, but act as if they don't have a job, you know, try to develop that desire within them as if they don't have a job. So that's kind of a mind trick thing that they got to do. But I see a lot of times people who have a fucking job just have a hard time being desire. That's kind of my thoughts. When we're coaching people, you know, when we're helping people try to get into that mindset that they gotta be in for them to really start making the magic happen or making the inspiration happen. It's like it's sometimes the hardest thing when people are working in a regular job because they know what it feels like to have a regular paycheck come in, even though they're not happy with that paycheck. I don't know if we kind of digress.
Right. So it's about so it goes back to, it leads us right back to the why we are doing what we're doing. And until you sit down with a Ryan Roy or an ERG Jefferson or myself even, and talk through where you are right now and why are you currently doing what you're doing and what is your goal 5 years from now and how do you take steps to accomplish those things? You know, and that helps us to develop our why. A lot of times we just kind of do whatever just kind of comes to us by default, simply because we haven't sat down and really thought through the why. What's next? And how do I accomplish that? And so it are calls like these that happen and resources that we have right in our network that help us
it's very
to,
critical that we
get to that
define our
next
why.
step.
And I know that's part of the 9 daily disciplines. I think we need to refer to that every day. And that why has to be huge. That why has to be beyond us. That why has to it has to be defined. So many people are living their life without having a definite major purpose, without having defined their why as to why they do what they do, other than to pay the rent. Other than to feed the family, you know what I mean? Like those are huge whys. Yeah, I need to keep groceries
Right.
in the refrigerator. I need to keep my rent paid, my bills paid. But if that becomes your only why, if that becomes the life that we live, I mean, it's, you know, there's got to be something greater than paying bills all your life until you die. There's got to be something bigger for our life than that, and I think it's important that we define that for ourselves, and that helps fuel us and push us through to those extraordinary achievements that we'll have in life.
You know,
Ryan, what you got? What's your last thoughts?
As entrepreneurs, the thought that runs through my mind is a lot of people, as entrepreneurs, we define our whys because we want to get to the next level. We want more. We don't want to be in that 9 to 5. That's like our choice. And I think a lot of people, because, you know, essentially 95% of the population are not entrepreneurs, right? 95% of the people want a job or have a job. And it's not because, I think it goes back to the why. I think the school system and society has taught them that this is the way to go. Go to school, get a job, do the 40-year thing that doesn't even exist anymore. And people are in false hope, and they haven't defined their why. They've allowed society to define their why for them, which is, we need you to work to sustain our businesses and to sustain the economy. So as we're talking about the why, I've never really even thought about it this way, but most people don't even think about why they're here or what they're doing here. They're just going through the motions of life. And until they encounter someone like us, at a deep level, not just, oh, you're crazy, you don't have a regular paycheck. I think you're crazy for having a regular paycheck, because that means you have regularity in so many ways. You don't have variety in life. You know, you know, and not to knock it, it's just not something that I prefer. To do the same thing, 9 to 5, hit traffic, come home, look forward to the weekend. I normally don't even know what day of the week it is. It doesn't matter to me. As a matter of fact, when I go on vacation, you guys know I was just down in the Florida Keys for the holiday. I couldn't wait to get back home. I want to go back to work. I want to help people. you know, and more people have the opposite. They're like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I can't wait till vacation. I'm like, oh, I got to go on vacation. I got to stop doing what I love for a couple days. And it's just a different dynamic, and people don't understand it. I actually said, you know, you got to be grateful for things, and your terminology the other day, I was talking about you have to versus you get to. And people were saying we should use the terminology we get to do things, like we get to get up this morning. I get to go to physical therapy. I get to help people today. And some people would look at it. I actually said, in my terminology was off, man, I have to go to the Florida Keys for Thanksgiving because I want to be home helping people. But I got the opportunity to go. A lot of people would love to do that. A lot of people would love to do that, but they're coming from a different perspective. It's because they don't get to do that as often as they would like to.
Right. So that
Somebody
was
once
that
told
gratitude
me,
moment.
you guys may or may not know Keith Cunningham. Do you know who Keith Cunningham is?
Never heard of him.
Okay, so Keith Cunningham, you guys know Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki?
Yeah.
Keith Cunningham is Rich Dad.
Yeah.
Okay. So I saw him speak live one time, and he said this. He goes, being rich is boring. When you're rich, you could do absolutely anything you want to do anytime you want to do it. He goes, well, what keeps me going is helping people, building businesses, helping people with their businesses, doing things of that nature. And I am not by any means, you know, Keith Cunningham rich or anything like that. But I like to occupy my time helping people with the knowledge that I have.
Hey, he brought up a good point, man, because in the Stranger Secret, that's one of the first things that came out, right? Is that you know, he did a survey that if you ask, you know, anyone around you why they go to work, he said most of them will say just because everybody goes to work. Like that's the normal thing to do. They won't have a really profound reason why they get up to face the traffic, why they get up to go to the job, why they get up to stay 8 hours at this job, why they get up to come home and face the traffic. They don't really have they just do it. Most of them seem to just do it just because that's the thing to do, instead of actually having a definite major purpose, a roadmap into their life, into where they're going. And so I think that's just very, you know, that kind of syncs up with exactly what you're saying, Ryan. Like, why do you do what you do? And if you don't have that, if you're a person that's here today and you're listening to it, just saying, I don't really know why I do what I do. Like maybe you've gotten to that rut, maybe you've gotten to that cycle of life where you're just doing it because that's the thing that you've always done. And of course, if we continue to do what we always done, we continue to get what we always got. Well, maybe you need to connect with one of us. Maybe you need to connect with someone that can help you see things differently, think differently, you know, drop some nuggets into your life. So maybe a new mindset can begin to be developed. That's one of the reasons why we have the Mindset Makeover Challenge. But that's also one of the reasons why we have this service called Future by Design. It's going to help you to actually design your life, to really define the whys in your life, the what's in your life, the who's in your life, and put a roadmap into how you can create this life that you want now that you have defined what it is that you want. So if that's something that you're interested in on the What the Healthy Happy Net website, there is a place for you to actually sign up for a first free consultation with Future by Design, so we can see what it is that you want, and then we can actually help you to actually get there.
Absolutely. And with that being said, it is now, the time now is 7:30. We want to be respectful of your time. We thank all of the guests that came on today. Brandy Sonato from Hawaii, lovely Hawaii. Justified, Just Do It, the action man right here in Atlanta, Georgia. ERG, Evans Jefferson from ERG Enterprises. And I am Mr. Beedles, Mr. Wealthy, Healthy, Happy. Make sure that you tune in tomorrow, 7 a.m. Be there or be square.
It's ERGJ. Hey, Brandy, I'm going to walk you through
a few
things once we stop recording. But this is ERGJ, your success coach. We got Mr. Beedles.
Hello, hello, hello. Hey, we are wealthy. We are healthy. We're happy. We out.